Hi, this is Steve. It's been a while, so I decided since this is the beginning of the big blockbuster semi movie season, I would talk about a couple of films that I've seen, mention a couple that I'm looking forward to seeing, and maybe if I have a chance to even talk about some comics from Free Comic Book Days. The fact that I'm just getting around to Free Comic Book Day uh, sort of lets you know that I've been out of touch for a while. Well, anyway, excuse me. The first film I talk about is Iron Man 3. I'm going to just start right out and give that a 3 out of 4 stars for that movie. Probably not as good as the first one, which was until Avengers, probably my favorite superhero movie. And so certainly a lot better than Iron Man 2, which was a big disappointment to a lot of people. And I think even to the people who were involved in making it. Uh, anyway, I wasn't as, since most of you probably already seen the film, I'm not going to go into detail about it. Anyways, Tony Stark decides to confront someone called the Mandarin, who appears to be a international terrorist blowing up various sites, either on American soil or are part of American installations overseas. Um, in doing so, he decides to give out his address and why this huge mansion overlooking Malibu would be a secret to anyone uh, is probably about the biggest plot hole in the entire friggin' movie. Since the guy was always hosting huge parties, it's like, I don't think all those people were going there blindfolded. Anyway, um, there's an attack on his home. Events happen that cause Tony to be without his um, his technology, and he almost has to start from scratch. Um, a lot of people were really upset about the uh, the villain of the piece, or the seeming villain, the Mandarin, who there's a reveal about halfway through the film, which I won't give away if you haven't seen it. But I was surprised, but I wasn't upset. It didn't ruin the movie for me. I think I saw what they were doing with it. Yeah, as a fanboy and someone who remembers the Mandarin from his early appearances as Iron Man, maybe I should have been more upset. But I like to think that what they did was the Marvel universe that has been established in the films. I don't think it ruined anything. I thought it was very clever, and I thought Ben Kingsley was absolutely brilliant um, as the character. Uh, and I would say the uh, beginning of the film and the end of the film may go up there to a 3.5, but overall I'm going to give it a 3 because there were some scenes that probably could have been cut, and maybe even some characters eliminated. But overall, it was good seeing all the characters back together. And if this is indeed the last of the Iron Man trilogy, I think they went off on a high note. The second film I want to talk about would be Star Trek Into the Darkness. Again, a film which seemed to upset almost as many people as enjoyed it. Um, was it as good as the original film in this current franchise? No, but that one was more to bring in all the characters, reintroduce them to people who might not be familiar with them, and just to get you to the point where the audience recognizes them as the characters without continually thinking of uh, the older actors who appear in the role. Which in one point in the film, they sort of take a back step um, in doing so, which I won't give away if you haven't seen the film. But overall, it was good. It's a really good fight scenes. It's nice seeing the Klingons come back. I'd be curious to see in San Diego if the new improved Klingons make an appearance, or if we see the Klingons we're used to from Next Generation and the other Star Trek TV shows and films, not counting the original, of course. Um, all the actors are back, just as in the Iron Man film. You have everyone is there or her is there in the still novel uh, relationship with Spock, which I thought was pretty well done this time around. Again, you're over it, you're used to it, you know the relationship is there, and you know there's more to Spock than than in the old original series. Although Spock in that series and in the films had his moments. Um, Simon Pegg as Scotty basically steals every scene in which he appears. Would I like to see a Scotty movie? Oh hell yeah! In a heartbeat. I know some people don't care for the actor who plays Chekhov, or at least I don't think they like the interpretation of Chekhov as sort of like Scotty, uh, almost for comic. He's there for comic effect. He really adds nothing to the film, and if there is a third one, and I hope there is, I'd like to see them do a little bit more with him than just say, "Oh, here's a guy who we can barely understand and who is out of his depth." Um, but as in Iron Man, I didn't have a problem with the reveal regarding the villain. I thought it was nicely done, and the writers of the film say that originally it wasn't supposed to be um, this character, but was in fact the new character. But when they finished it and went looking at the book the story, they realized that they could do things with it, um, which might appeal to the older fans. So I was fine with it. You know, there are films where I can uh, put aside my fanishness and say that's cool. Of course, I can't do that with the upcoming Lone Ranger travesty with Johnny Depp, which when I found out Depp was doing it, I was aghast that he would be chosen for that. Um, and anyways, none of the trailers have changed my opinion. It's obvious that they're going the Green Hornet reboot route. Whether that was what Seth Rogen, um, where basically they tried to play it for laughs, and I think this Depp's going the same way that he did with Dark Shadows. He was a caricature, and he's a better actor than that. And I don't know why he does it. I mean, okay, I guess if they said, look, you want to, play, um, get paid millions of dollars to once again have your face painted ghastly white. Um, More power to you. Anyways, I digressed from Star Trek. I'm giving Star Trek, as with Iron Man, I'm giving it 3 stars. Uh, I would say again, there are certain scenes within it. The fight with the Klingons and some other scenes are outstanding. It really is good. Um, and Cuthbert, I think the actor's name is, who plays the villain in the story. He was quite good. He was quite good. And anyway, it was a nice film. It was full of surprises. I enjoyed it. And as with Iron Man, I would love to see these characters again sometime in the future. Next film looking forward to is Superman, which initially, just looking at the costume, I had my problems with it. And considering what they did in the previous attempt to reboot the series, Superman Returns or whatever it was, which I didn't even see. You know, I'm only speaking from secondhand opinion, from seeing the trailers and reading reviews and hearing from what people said, that I didn't miss anything by missing the movie. Man of Steel looks good. I have high hopes for it. It's going to be a darker Superman, which, okay, you know what? Maybe in this day and age, that's the only way you can do Superman up on the big screen. An animated Superman might be able to go for a lighter tone, but I think the audience nowadays expects something, especially given the Batman trilogy. I think they're looking for something a little heavier. So the film looks good. So fingers crossed. I'm hoping to see that in a couple of weeks. And big hope for Pacific Rim, which looks amazing. Giant robots and giant monsters, some of whom look very much like some kaiju that fans might recognize from other Japanese films. It looks like a nice tribute to Toho, and I'm looking forward to it. And so that's it for films, except for Thor later on in the year, which looks good. I'm psyched for that. And of course, next year is Winter Soldier, and so on and so forth. So we'll see how that goes. Really quickly, it's been, God, sometime last year, I guess like September, was the last time I went. I bought any comics, and this time it was Free Comic Book Day. For the first time in about 4 or 5 years, I actually had the day off, so I decided I was going to go down and pick up a few comics just to see what was going on. Mostly to pick up free stuff, I admit. Comic Quest here in Lake Forest had a limit of you only can choose 4. So rather than going for the DC Marvel, which I don't buy, I decided to try something different. This we have here from Marco Sia. This is Endangered Weapon B, which is nice. I would say it's sort of an all ages theme about a scientist who has this, for a reason not explained completely, has this bear in a bionic suit who does all the heavy lifting. Adventurer with he has a young love interest who has no interest being the love interest, etc. But it's a lot of fun. There are also a few pages from other books from the same publisher. I'd recommend it. It was fun. I mean, certainly worth the price, right? Then we have Steam Engines of Oz, which was really good. This is from Arcana, who seem to... they have a series called Steampunk Originals, which they don't fall within a shared universe, although they have the central theme of steampunk. If you're into steampunk, I think you really like it. I picked it up just because, I loved Oz, and it looked different. The art is good, certainly not cartoony. It's really nicely done. You see all the regular characters, and in this one, the Tin Man at least appears to be the bad guy. and Ruler of Oz. So be curious to see where they go with that. So I recommend that, or in other books from Arcana.com. Um, went with Fubar, which, being an old Navy guy, how could I resist the title? I'm not going to go into what we said it stood for, but Google it and you'll probably find out. Anyways, Fubar is their thing is zombies, and basically zombies throughout history. Zombies in World War II, zombies during the Revolutionary War, um, zombies throughout history. And this book actually gives a pretty decent look at it. Sort of like, what do General George Patton, George Washington, and Edward R. Murrow have in common? Zombies. Zombies. It's good. Check it out. The art's pretty good. It's a dark comic. There is some humor in it. It's very graphic. If you like zombies and you can deal with that, that's fine. I highly recommend Fubar. Thumbs up for me on that. And last but not least, decided to do something a little more fun. Went with Bongo, Free for All. Worst itchy and scratchy comic ever. No, not seriously. But anyways, Bot's in there. Lil Homer is in there. All the characters you love from the strip, including Itchy and Scratchy. It's fun. It's enjoyable. And you gotta love the back cover, right? The characters from Futurama as X-Men. Totally cool. Anyways, that's it for me. Rambled on far too long. Just trying to play catch up. If I think about it, I'll try to be here after I see Superman within a few days of that. Until then, take care of yourself, and if I'm lucky, I hope to see some of you in San Diego.